This is why we go to the movies. Project Hail Mary is something that we are lucky to see maybe once every few years. A truly artistic film that takes chances with its storytelling, its visuals, and trusts the audience to follow along with the science and the pathway ahead, along with putting Ryan Gosling in the driver's seat of this incredible story. The film opens as confused as we are. Grace is a scientist who wakes up in a ship far away and out in the reaches of space, memory lost, slowly drifting, unsure of what to do. But we're slowly drip-fed this memory and what's going on. Also, I really love how even with amnesia, he can do math to try and get back home. It's almost encoded in him more than his own name or memories. Now, as he begins to get his memory back, we begin to learn about his journey and how we all got here. Let's start with the fact that he is a teacher, and I'm sure this resonates with more teachers, but also any passionate adult who never really got a chance in their field. This film probably resonates because it shows you can do something. He's brought in because in the distant future, I suppose, in the future technically, there's something called astrophage, and it's found that it is dimming the sun, which will cool the earth and cause catastrophic meltdowns, and most likely eventually the entire extinction of everything on the planet. This astrophage. So he's brought in to study it to see what it is or what it's made of and how to break it down, because he had an originalized thought that you don't need water to create life. I love when he's examining the cell because there's all these generals and scientists all around and world leaders, and they're watching him, and he's kind of conducting them almost like a teacher conducts a classroom, the same way he did his class earlier, saying, "Are y'all fired up? Let's go! This is great!" And they're all clapping and like happy, and it's you can see the teacher in him coming out, and he really enjoys sharing this science with other people. It warms his heart. Now, that said, it is found that, yes, these things do use water. There is oxygen and hydrogen, unfortunately for him. However, he commits himself to still trying to help and figure out and examine what's going on. And it's at this point I would like to say Carl is a real MVP. And I love the chemistry and dialogue of this entire film. Carl and Grace have a really good chemistry, but Grace also has some great chemistry with someone else down the road. You will see. Now, props to this movie that it can also explain all the science, and it keeps you along for the ride the whole way through. You never feel like you fall out of it. After all, these are, for the most part, difficult concepts for people to grasp, and the fact that we can keep up is amazing. It's a testament to the great writing. We then jump back to the ship where he's trying to figure out what's going on, where it's the astrophage, how to break things down, but it's at this point that he ends up actually running into an alien ship. And I'm going to fast forward through this part. Runs to an alien ship, they begin to communicate back and forth, and he ends up meeting who will become his BFF, Rocky. This character who some people wish he was kind of hidden in the marketing, like they wish he had been a surprise. But no, I think this is actually really good. Although he does come along, from what I'm told, very early in the film compared to the books. In the books, Rocky doesn't come out until about halfway through, which I think is the smarter idea, just because we built such a great relationship with Rocky. I love how early he comes in and how they meet with the little sphere. I love how Grace opens it and he breathes it, smells it, and it's like, oh god, and that's hilarious and that's funny, and I love the charismaticness, the charisma in all this. And it's at this point that I myself kind of realized something. The concept of hostility is very human. Most alien movies, right? Most movies where we interact with aliens, 99% of the time there's a conflict. We're fighting for resources. We're fighting because of an invasion or kidnapping or whatever it is, right? But it's not always about hostility. I love how in this one the concept is the thirst for knowledge between two species, and how that is a universal trait, no matter the organism or the species. The idea of reaching for the stars and the desire to learn when Rocky comes aboard the ship and just wants to examine and learn as much as he can about everything. That's interesting to me. Now, Rocky has to use this bubble to come aboard and make these pathways aboard, because if he goes into the ship, he could die. Like, the atmosphere is poisonous to him and vice versa with Grace's character. I love everything about this and how their bond becomes the heart of emotion of this film. Multiple times, I found myself in tears because of their connection and their growing friendship. Rocky hates Mark because Mark went with the woman that Grace was with. That's hilarious. Rocky helping Grace to go home legit made me cry, because there's a point where Rocky lost his entire crew. All 22 of them passed away. Rocky's the last one. And it's discovered the reason why is because of radiation. He learned something from Grace, and the same way Grace learns from Rocky. There was nothing he could have done, but he lost his whole crew. He doesn't want to lose Grace too. He doesn't want to let Grace die. It's at this point that we find that Grace finally tells Rocky this is a one-way trip for him. that once he's done, he'll probably survive a few years, if he spreads out the food, but he will die in space. And that's depressing and scary. So Rocky commits to helping him get home. And this makes Grace cry because he has to accept the fuel from Rocky, and it's so emotional. But to see Grace allow himself to be saved, to allow himself to go home, it's a beautiful thing, genuinely a beautiful thing. Also, before we keep going further, I do want to add something. The linguistics part of this is actually accurate. The basics of using numbers, dumbed down words as a foundation are all actually very true. It's a breakdown of nuance and a breakdown of subtlety. And with that breakdown, with stripping all that away, Grace is stripped down to his most bare of a person that he can possibly be. He can't lie to Rocky or hide his insecurities. He simply is. Both are scientists hell-bent on saving their respective worlds. They are able to figure out that there's a natural predator to the astrophage. The mission goes from getting fuel to trying to get the predator. It's like these amoebas that eat the astrophage that control their population. And it's stressful, but they are able to do it, but at a cost. The turbulence and the hell, in the midst of the turbulence and the hell, Grace is eventually knocked out, nearly killing him and Rocky. But Rocky actually has to go out, break his barrier, save the ship, and then he drags Grace into the medical base so he can get help, while Rocky damn near dies. Rocky burns himself to save Grace, and again, tears. And at this point, I want to say that this might be the best alien film ever made. Like, I loved Arrival, but damn if this is not great. Ron deserves a lot more credit for his acting here, and the puppeteer who played Rocky might actually be up for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. We will see. At this point, also, I want to talk about Grace as a character. He's a very Gen Z millennial. The mentality of pessimism it's very there, because he's been beaten down by the world. Like, he was rejected by the scientific community for the only original idea he ever had. Instead of giving him a chance or letting him fail or at least try, they kind of just, he's off. That's unfortunate. It's a reflection of the times that we're in, unfortunately. There's also a slow reveal that he was forced onto the ship, and it reminds me of a quote from Optimus Prime. Yes, I know we don't like Michael Bay. Sometimes he directs garbage. Fair, but there is one really good quote. Rarely does fate call upon us at a moment of our choosing. There was an accident, so now Grace has to go into space to try and save humanity. It turns out he was the right person. He was the only one that could have. Rocky and Grace and their relationship is the beating heart of this film. While Rocky recovers, Grace makes enough of the predator juice stuff to save both of their worlds, along with Rocky giving Grace enough fuel to be able to get home. Grace allows himself to be saved and go home, and that takes strength. I think I may have already said that, but this is just a repeating part of it. Grace's character arc in this film is outstanding. They part as friends, but that's when we get the other half of the coin. The predators were able to get out of their containers and eat some of the astrofuge fuel. They actually end up eating the same material that Rocky's ship is made out of, so Grace is left with a choice. He can either go home and let Rocky and his world die, or go back and save Rocky. He cannot do both. And in this final moment, I love Grace's nobility in that he cannot leave his friend behind or leave his friend to die. He manages to save Rocky before he can die from the radiation, while also sending back the probes needed to save the Earth. From there, we have a beautiful ending of Grace on Rocky's planet, conducting a class of students while Rocky's people are ready. They have a ship, they can send him home, but Grace isn't sure he really wants to go home yet, and Rocky's excited because he wants to stay with his friend, and I love that. This is a beautiful film, and it is everything a blockbuster film should aspire to be. There are some people that would venture to say that the modern movie is no good anymore and that everything is either a sequel or a remake. Show them this, and I promise you their faith in movies will be restored. For me at least, this is a perfect film, a 10 out of 10. My only note is that I really want to see the 3.5 hour version with more science kept in. That's my only note I've got for this. But yeah, what did you think of Project Hail Mary? I think the highest grossing original film in like 2-3 years. Well, not based on a previous film property. I know it's based on a book, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that said, catch you next time. We'll see everybody.